Hey everybody, happy Easter to you. I am so glad you've joined us for Intersection Online this week. And in just a moment, I'm going to be joined by all four of our interns. But before we do that, we've got the bucket. And so we got two students doing the bucket this week. The first one is Donovan, and the second one is Caroline. And the only thing I need to say before we get started is that Donovan wanted me to add a happy Easter onto the end because he forgot. So happy Easter from Donovan, happy Easter from me, happy Easter from my family, and enjoy the bucket from Donovan first, and then Caroline second, and then I'll be back with the interns for Intersection Online.
All right, so this book right here is written by Trevor Noah, as you can see. It's about him as a biracial child growing up in South Africa, and I like it a lot because I somewhat relate to the biracial part and all the stuff that he had to go through, and I related to some of it with racial tension and all that, growing up in Texas, Mississippi, and other places across the United States, kinda. And then I got a spear that I made. We made it from first week of quarantine because I got bored. Got the spike from putting it in the fire, and yeah, I thought it looked pretty cool, to be honest. I like it. And then here's my driver's license. Y'all can't see it, y'all see the photo, kinda, but nah, y'all can't see it. I'm just proud of that because I'm gonna have to, for sure, I don't know, it just looks cool. And then this bracelet that I got from someone in Ukraine, one of my friends. Her friend actually died the day that she gave it to me, her best friend, because it was a war, or civil war type thing with Russia and Ukraine. And she gave it to me, I think, a day before we left. So that's why it has special meaning to me. And I just cherish that so I can give it back to her when we see each other. And then this is a knife that my dad gave me. It's older than me. I know that's like 20 years old, I want to say. I don't know. Like it. Yeah, so. And then this is my cap and gown that I probably won't wear. Not gown, but cap. Yeah, that's pretty cool, I guess. 2020. And then this is one of my favorite parts about being at church. There's me right there. And then it's blurry, but that's one of my favorite times. I know I don't go to much with the church, but that's probably one of my favorite moments with y'all. And this guitar that I got from my grandma and granddad on my mom's side. And I don't know how to play it. I just got it and was like, thank you. I like this. It looks cool. But these are the track spikes these two count as one. But these are the track spikes that I went to state with my freshman year. They're like nice. And then these are senior year ones that I only got to use 3 times. They're alright. And then this is the poster thing. And then these are all the medals, some of the medals, not all. And then, yeah, that. I don't really store that. Those are just track stuff. And then there's me as a child. Young black and white boy.
Hello, it's Caroline, and Monty asked me to do the bucket, so here I am doing the bucket. Okay, so first of all, I have a volleyball because I play volleyball all the time. I've been playing since like 5th grade. Traveled to Houston 3 times a week usually to play volleyball, so it's a really big part of my life. Next, I have my Bible because obviously it's a big part of my life. All y'all are a part of my life, and yeah. Okay, so I have this candle because I love candles. This is my favorite one. It's a volcano. And yeah, so if you ever just want to get me a candle, you know. Okay, then I have this coffee mug. I love coffee. I drink it all the time, every morning, at least once a day, sometimes at night if I have schoolwork to do, so that's that. What else? I have a speaker. I love music. I love to listen to music and just, yeah, I love music. I have this hat. I love clothes and fashion, so I just got a hat to represent that. I just have a picture of my best friends and me, and yeah, I love my friends. I love hanging out with my friends. I'm a big people person, so this quarantine thing is kind of driving me insane. What else? I have my car keys because driving's awesome, and I gave me a little more freedom, and so yeah, love to drive. And I have this sketchbook, and I have like some these like pens and stuff. I love to do like calligraphy type stuff. I'm not like a great drawer by any means, but I love to like do creative lettering and stuff. So that's what this is for. And then I have my backpack. I actually really enjoy school, which is kind of weird, but yeah, so school's also a big part of my life, or it used to be before it got canceled. So yeah, bye guys, have a great week.
Hey everybody.
Hey guys, sorry all.
Bye.
Hi guys, so we're really glad y'all could join us for youth group Intersection Online tonight. We're so glad you're here. We hope we got a good little night for y'all planned, and happy Easter to you all.
Yep, happy Easter. I'm joined by all of our interns. So we got Keith, we got Chandler, Whitney, and Dalen, all coming from all their locations everywhere that we are spread across this great state of Texas. And we're glad to be here and glad that you're here as well for Intersection Online. And thanks for joining us for that. Okay, Whitney, I'll kick it over to you.
Yeah, so last week we had a few interns from the past. Kristen and Parina talked to us a little bit. So today we have another old intern that has a few words to say.
Hello, A&M Church of Christ Youth Group. How are you? It's Shelby. I miss you all. I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you are enjoying the time at home with your family. I hope that you are feeling whatever feelings you need to feel about all of this. These are hard times. I feel like I've been kind of on a roller coaster. It's like one day I'm like, yeah, I'm doing great. And the next day I'm like, ooh, today's kind of rough. Like I miss my friends. I miss my youth students. I miss going to Chick-fil-A and sitting in there and just seeing the Chick-fil-A people. I just want to encourage all today. I want to read a verse that has been something that I've been clinging to just the past few weeks. And it's from Romans chapter 8, and I will go ahead and read it. It says in verse 28, "We know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. For those he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, so that he would be the firstborn among many brothers and sisters. And those he predestined, he also called, and those he called, he also justified, and those he justified, he also glorified." So God is going to work for the good of those who love him. We love him, and he's going to protect us. He is going to fulfill the plans that he has for us. And because he has called us and he has justified us. I hope that that verse brings you some comfort, some peace. I am praying for each of you today and every day. I love you, and I can't wait to see you hopefully soon. Don't know when that will be, but maybe I'll get to make a trip to College Station soon after all this is over. You can always call me or text me if you need anything. And you'll all know that Monty and Heather are there for you as well. I love you, and I will see you soon.
All right, so thank you, Shelby, for sending that in and sharing that with us. And we're thankful to Shelby for the time that she spent here as an intern, even though it was a few years ago. And she's come back and helped with a few things since then, and thankful now for her work for the Lord that she's getting to do in Dallas. And so, okay, so I don't know how all you guys are doing. And I know that we're all kind of, some in Houston, some in Dallas, some in College Station and Bryan. And so let's just kind of take a minute, just kind of tell us how you're doing. Chandler, let's start with you. How you doing? How's your week been? That kind of stuff.
I'm doing really well. I'm still here in the Woodlands. School is really picking up. I have a lot of studio work to do right now. So I've been just kind of like designing houses and stuffing for a mountain in Colorado is our assignment this year. So
okay, so studio
just
work.
doing a lot of school work.
What does studio work mean? What do you do in studio work?
So studio, when you're studying architecture, studio is kind of like your main course, they say, and then all of your like architecture history classes and math classes are like the side dishes. So that's our main design class. We are given a big project every semester that's usually a real project that's actually being built, and we work alongside architects and a client. And so this semester we're doing a mountain village in Colorado. So it's really cool. It's all remote. There's no cars. It's really cool.
Awesome. That's fun. You said mountain in Colorado. I thought you were making a mountain. I was like, that's kind of impressive. Mountain village would be so much fun. And I would enjoy being in a mountain village in Colorado right now. That'd be really cool.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
cool. That's good. All right. Who wants to go next? How you doing?
I can go next.
Okay.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm very busy this week, so I've got a test later today. I've got a group project meeting after that. Then I've got a presentation on Tuesday, and then a research paper due Thursday. So like I'm pretty busy this week.
Awesome. Okay, this is the test that we were talking about earlier on Easter Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like scheduled for Easter Sunday. The test opened on Friday, and I just have to complete it by midnight tonight, and I've just put it off till today.
That's good. We're glad to know your teacher's not like scheduling stuff on Easter Sunday. Most businesses are closed on Easter Sunday, even without COVID-19. And then we'd laugh if that was that way. All right, cool. That's good, Dalen. Okay, who wants to go next?
I can go. I've been
All right.
having a pretty good week. Next week, I think, is busy. I don't know. I'm trying to keep myself focused on school. It's just hard because it's all online. So I've just been playing ping pong, trying to remember school exists.
I'm busy. It's hard, but I'm living playing ping pong. That's like a
Yeah.
dream. That's awesome. I would love that dream right there. So that's good. All right, Whitney, how about you? How you been?
I'm good. I had a test this past week, so I got a 98, which was exciting.
Good job.
And this coming week, I have a lot of school stuff. It's probably like my last busy week of school ever, but I have to write a 10-page paper, and then I have another test. But I've been reading a lot, which has been nice.
That's good. Okay, so that's got to be a great feeling. Your last busy week of school ever. So good job. That's a lot of years, a lot of work, and a lot of really good stuff for that. So that's cool. Okay, glad y'all are all doing good. Thanks again for being a part of this. And I know it's hard. I miss seeing students. I know you guys miss seeing students. I hope they miss seeing you. I hope they miss seeing me, that kind of stuff. Okay, Chandler, you got the next thing, right? Okay.
Yes, so we have some Bible verses that have been shared by some of you guys, so let's go ahead and go to that now.
Happy Easter, you guys. So Monty told me, well, he asked me to share a verse with you guys today. So the verse that I'm going to be sharing is Psalms 139, verse 13 through 14. And the verse is, "For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know that full well." The reason why I like this verse so much is because whenever I was a camper at camp about 2 or 3 years ago, my counselor shared this verse with me, and she would tell me like she would get bullied a lot, or she wouldn't feel like accepted by her family or friends or even the world. She would just have negative thoughts about herself and other people, and the verse was like a reminder to her that she was made wonderful in God's eyes, no matter how the earth viewed her, how people viewed her. It was just a reminder to her. And I really like this verse too, because ever since she told me that, it kind of gave like a reminder and clear understanding to me that I am made fearfully and wonderfully through God. We all are, and that's something that I remember mostly like almost every single day. It's just the world and God's creation is so beautiful, and He made us beautiful too, and we are His people. And that this earth is not home, but that is home, and the real Heavenly Father that loves us, He's there. So yeah, that I just really like that verse a lot. That if you want to know it again, the verse is Psalms 139, verse 13 through 14. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful Easter and a great day. Okay? All right, bye.
Hey guys, it's Virginia. My verse is Genesis 50:20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. I've been doing a Bible study through Zoom, and this has been my favorite and most encouraging verse so far.
Hey, so thank you to everybody sending in those videos and letting us hear kind of just a verse that God may be sharing with you or had put on your heart this week. And that is just awesome. Okay, so one of the things that we've noticed, or that I've noticed anyway in our family, and our family's noticed this, Hudson's about to walk by. Hi, Hudson. Hey, can you say hi? Hi. There we go. There's a hi. Okay, so one of the things that I've noticed this week is a lot of people just kind of being discouraged, and just I think the newness of being together, being separated from everybody is worn off. We're all kind of stuck in our homes, and life has continued to not be the way we thought it was. And it's just been discouraging. And I've noticed some people that are really discouraged, some people that are really encouraged, that are not letting this kind of get them down. And there's kind of just a difference, and maybe a lot of people just kind of in the middle. And so have y'all noticed anybody just kind of encouraged, discouraged, just a wide variety of things?
Yeah, I've noticed it a lot in people that I've talked to. There's a feeling of hopelessness that everyone's very uncomfortable with, and it's just a very unknown situation, and are getting very hopeless in that because we just don't know when it's going to end. And so I've seen people getting very discouraged by that.
Yeah.
I agree. It's just been like kind of a somber attitude around, even if they're not specifically negative or sad. It's just like an attitude that things aren't going to be better for a while. So it's just sitting and, kind of living with that and being alone and not having that encouragement or that ability to go out and build yourself up kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of feelings right now that are pretty similar to how I felt last spring, just kind of where you feel like you're in this like weird, lonely, like intermediate phase where like nothing's really happening. Everything is just kind of like stagnant spiritually. And it's kind of sad and depressing. And I sort of realized when I was studying abroad and that this was happening and I had no connection to the church, I had no connection to fellow Christians, that like I could either live and dwell in that like weird, sad feeling, or I could do something about it and I could seek God. And I grew more that semester. I know y'all have heard me talk about it so many times just because it was such a pivotal time for me. But I had to kind of like make that decision while I was there that was like, hey, I can't go on like this. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I need to seek God, and I know that he will fulfill me. And so I'm kind of really trying to use this time in that same type of growth, where I don't have any distractions. Nothing else is taking my time, things like that. And I've noticed like a lot of that same kind of like feeling of peace and growth happening throughout this quarantine time too.
Yeah, that's a really cool way to think about that, because you kind of experienced this before we did, even though it was a different kind of situation, but you had that alone time without people around you, and had to kind of figure out how to walk through that and deal with that, and if you were going to grow from that or if you weren't, do that. Dalen, you notice anything from people?
Yeah, like some of the stuff that I've seen and like even personally felt is just kind of like a lethargicness, like of wanting the situation to be over, but like knowing there's nothing we can do about it, and the days just kind of all blend together. So like it's very easy to feel and notice like that sort of like lethargicness and tiredness of the situation.
Yeah, it does. It just kind of gets old, and I think that's kind of our human nature. Anything that's new gets old, and the new just kind of always wears off, and that makes it tough. So okay, so this is a conversation Heather and I've had quite a bit of, just talking to different people, and it's everything from family members to us to friends we're talking about or talking to and that kind of stuff. And one day we were talking, it was like, everybody's just down today. Everybody's like, oh, this is the worst. I'm so sad. I'm missing this. I don't get to experience this. I don't have this, and I can't do this, and I can't whatever. And we were just kind of thinking, like, I don't know that that's the attitude that is going to be the most healthy for all of this, and to let it get us down. And so how can you be kind of positive through this? And so we talked about that 2 or 3 days ago, and then yesterday something happened, and it was a really cool thing. So it started out as a goofy thing, but it ended up being really cool. So on Facebook, someone had said, hey, the Easter Bunny is coming down the street, and it's coming down these streets, and here's what's going to be on your street, that kind of stuff. And so it was all our neighborhood, the Facebook group that we have. And so the Easter Bunny, we knew was coming down our street. So we kind of went outside, noticed that our neighbors outside, and the next door neighbors outside, and across the street was outside. And we live on the end of a circle. And so everybody's just kind of there, and the circle, filled with all these families and stuff. And then down the corner, like someone had said, oh, it's the next street over, we're next, and that kind of stuff. And you see this pickup come down the street. In the back of the pickup's the Easter Bunny, like standing up, and he gets down to our end of the street and like he's like waving and that kind of stuff, but like no one said anything. And so then one was like, Happy Easter, and it'd be like, Happy Easter, that kind of stuff. But it was funny, Easter Bunny goes away. It's like this 1-car parade, and then it's over. And so I looked at the neighbors next to us like, hey, how you guys been doing? And they started talking, and someone else, and we just kind of stayed. And like after an hour, we're all still there. So we go get our chairs, and we all just come and sit down. Y'all, for 3 hours, we sat socially distanced from our neighbors, but talking to them. And that would never have happened in the world that we had been living in, and that kind of stuff. It was great. It was really cool. It was a really cool time to visit. And we all kind of finally got hungry and said, okay, let's do this again. This has been good. But you kind of find the positive in the negative. And so one thing I want to encourage everybody to do is just look for the positive and the negative. Look for the things you can do and ways you can encourage other people, things you can see the bright side, things you can do that help you be a better person, things you can do in your relationship with God that helped in this time. And they always say that, light shines brightest in the darkness. And so maybe this is the darkness we're going through, and your light for God can shine brightest during this time, and God's light shines brightest during this time. So anyway, okay, so that's cool. Thanks for sharing some of anything to add to that about that before we go to the next section or the next thing we're doing? Okay, so Dalen, I think you're introducing the next thing and telling us what's happened next. So I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, so this week we have 2 My Stories. I believe they're Ben Brandon and Elizabeth Leftwich. So thank you guys for sharing those stories, and I hope we can all learn something.
Good evening, youth group. How you doing? Hope you're, finding stuff to do. Oh, that's my dad on a poster on the wall. It was one of the banners that stuck up on the side of the road, but it was too good to waste. So I'm just gonna. Yesterday was Sad Saturday, I guess you could call it. Some people have called it that before. I don't really remember where I heard it from, but yesterday was Sad Saturday. So there's Good Friday, Sad Saturday, and Resurrection Sunday. That's called Sad Saturday because obviously Jesus is dead. That's the only day, I guess, that you could say that Jesus hasn't been alive. Was Sad Saturday. So that was a rough day for everybody. If you've ever had the death of a loved one, the day of is kind of surreal almost, like no way this is happening, this just happened, whatever. But the day after is kind of when it starts to set in, and you figure out, wow, this is gonna be what it's like. And so Sad Saturdays is it's a real thing, and it's relevant in people's lives, but it's especially relevant in Jesus's resurrection story, because it goes straight from the worst day in history straight into the best day in history, when he rose on Sunday. How I'm tying that in with nowadays is that we have the opportunity to look at this quarantine as a Sad Saturday or a Resurrection Sunday. We can use this as a boo-hoo, my life sucks kind of thing. With Sad Saturday, we can mope around all day, not get anything done. There's a chance for all that. You have free will to do that if you so please, or you can make the most of it. You can do you can dive into your Bible study. You can you can be productive. You can do projects, and you can make this your Resurrection Sunday. Definitely not to the same caliber as actual Resurrection Sunday, because it's sorry, no matter how good you make quarantine, it's not going to be like Resurrection Sunday. The Savior of the world, you can't make the Savior of the world come back, because he didn't go anywhere. He's still with you. Anyway, that's mostly what I got. Is Sad Saturday is awful. Resurrection Sunday is great. But you can choose which one you're making this quarantine. You can make it sad, or you can make it great. But that's all I got. Enjoy the rest of Intersection, and I'll see you when I see you.
Hi friends, I hope this video finds y'all well, and I hope that y'all are learning and striving still and finding new things out about yourself or about people in your household, and just taking in this sweet time even though it's not the best of circumstances. So I know for me this has not been the funnest thing. Pretty much everything in my life has been turned upside down. I was a senior, I had prom and graduation and soccer playoffs, and we were district champs, and I was going to work at Pine Cove this summer, and so many things that kind of just got left in the unknown and kind of got taken away from me so fast. I never thought after spring break I would never go back to school, or that I would have to wait till May to go back to school. I was expecting to see my friends and my teachers and still play soccer and graduating and all the things. But I'm not, and so here I am. This time has been really sweet for me. I have gotten to dive into my Bible study more without a time limit and just take life at a slower pace than what I'm used to. I'm not used to being home. I'm not used to just being still, I guess. So this has been really sweet. While doing that, I came across a verse that I would like to share with y'all and just talk a little bit about because I feel like it all relates to us. It's Romans 5:3-5, and it says, "Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us." So when I first read this verse, I was like, suffering? Well, I'm not really suffering in this. It's not fun, but I'm not really suffering. So I Googled it, and suffering has suffer in it. So that's suffering is the verb of it. And so to suffer is to bear or to tolerate hardship and pain, which I would say this is a hardship. This isn't easy. So yeah, we are suffering. We are uneasy about this. We are not supposed to be cooped up in our houses. That's not how God made us. But he knows that this will better us. So in the front of my Bible, I write fun little, or not fun little things, but stuff that I'm just like learning. Here, I'll show y'all. But they're just like quotes. There's some Hebrew in there. I have a whole like Hebrew thing in the back of here. But one thing I wrote was, "You taught my feet to dance in disappointment and my heart to be filled with joy." And I think that verse and that quote just really tie together because it's saying that suffering will produce endurance. And so even if I am disappointed that all these things got taken away, I can still walk with Jesus and I can still dance with him and I can still find joy in my heart. Even though I am suffering and I am having pain and hardship about what's going on, I can still find hope in that. My heart is still going to be filled with joy, and Jesus is still a friend. I think this is weird because we don't get to see our friends. We don't get to connect one-on-one. I know Zoom calls have become my best friend throughout all of this. I probably have 2 a day. But that Jesus is such a sweet friend in this, and that he is going to continue to give you joy even in your suffering because of his love for us. Daily, I go on runs. I go for a 2-mile run every day just to stay active, get outside. And there's this house, and in this house they have their mailbox, and in their mailbox is like this little like cutout thing, and there's a bear that's sitting there. And the other day I went for my run and I saw it and I was like, what is this? This is so random. Like, why is there a teddy bear on this mailbox? And so I went and looked at it, and it had a Bible verse, and it says, "Have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous?" It says Joshua 1:9. And I was like, that is so sweet. Just to see encouragement on my run and to see God and find joy in that. This is hard. This is really hard. But then he's going to continue to give me joy. And so after that, I've been taking videos of every day of things that give me joy. And the other day I went for my run again, and it was like, God is love, and it was written on the sidewalk. And so I just want to encourage y'all. This time is not fun. I get it. I'm right there with you. This is day 31, I think, of I've been in quarantine, social distancing, and so it's been really hard. I haven't gone to see my friends. I haven't gone to love on them and cherish them. But Jesus still cherishes me, and he's still being such a sweet friend to me and teaching me so much about myself and so much about him. I literally spend hours in the Word a day because I have nothing else to do, for one, but for two, because I have no time limit. This season of my life was really busy before all of this. I was getting home at 1 a.m. from soccer, and I was never home, and so he has really just like taught me to be still, but also that I don't need my friends or soccer or graduation or prom or all the things that are supposed to give me happiness. Is all I need is him to give me joy and to continue to dance. It's really sweet to be happy and play music and find
find what makes you happy in all of this and continue to do it, because he has so much to teach you and so much to love on you about. And even if you don't get to connect with your friends, he's always listening, and he is such a good friend to us, even when we are not a good friend to him. I know that that's something that's been hard, is communicating with friends, but he's so easy to communicate with, and he wants to give you joy in the disappointments. He wants you not to suffer long, like in Romans. So I just encourage y'all to find joy today and to find joy every day, even if it's the littlest things of waking up early and watching the sunrise or picking flowers. I know I've been picking flowers and just finding that joy that God gives us. So yeah, that's all I have for y'all. I love y'all, and I cannot wait for us to all be reconnected and love on y'all. And if y'all need anything, text me. I'm writing letters, so if you want a letter, let me know. I have 20 going out this week, so I'd love to write y'all and just connect with y'all that way, because that's fun too. Bye, y'all.
Yep. So thank you, Ben. Thank you, Elizabeth, for sharing those and just helping us see into your world, and such great words, such great encouragement. So, okay, we're going to continue with Intersection Online, but Chandler has to step out because Chandler has some stuff with some freshman architecture students. So Chandler, we'll let you kind of say bye at this point. Anything you want to say before you go?
Yes, bye. Y'all have a great afternoon, great night. Hopefully I can see y'all on Zoom after this.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, bye Chandler.
Bye, Chandler.
Bye, Chan.
So for the rest of us, there's 4 of us now. So, okay, that kind of brings us to the end of Intersection Online. I'm really glad you're here with us this week. And so let you guys, anybody want to say anything kind of before we close out?
Yeah, so I've been reading, as I said earlier, I've been reading a lot. And one of those books is Crazy Love by Francis Chan. And so I think like 2 days ago, I read this one part that really stuck out to me, and I wanted to give it to y'all as a word of encouragement. And he was talking about when Noah like built the ark, and everyone kind of looked at him like he was ridiculous because God told him to build an ark, and they were like, excuse me, what? But it said, having faith often means doing what others see as crazy. Something is wrong when our lives make sense to unbelievers. And so I wanted to give y'all those words as an encouragement during this time, that your response to all of this shouldn't make sense to unbelievers, and like your peace in it shouldn't make sense, which I just really liked that. And I wanted to leave that with you.
That's awesome. Very cool. Good. Somebody else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, focus on staying healthy in this time. And I'm not just saying like, physical health, which is important, but focus on your mental health and your spiritual health, which is super important in this time too. And you just got to stay on top of that and stay focused with it.
Yeah, great point. Dalen, any wise words for us as we wrap up?
Yeah, just kind of like what they're saying, take some time to be joyful and give thanks to God for all that you've got during this time. It's a really tough time, but you've still got your friends out there that you can talk to, whether it's on the phone or text or playing video games or whatever. There's still ways you can keep in contact with people. So I just encourage you to do that.
Yeah, great point. And as you do that, as you do the phone or text, or if you do the video games and you're doing the online stuff, just always encourage you, say things that are good and say things that honor God through that, and make sure that the things that people hear from you, you can't really control what other people say, but you can control what you say. And so make it good, make it encouraging to other people, help other people see the best in the situation, help people see God's love as best you can. That's always a good thing to do. So in a second, we're going to, if you haven't already received it, you're going to receive a text message that's going to invite you to our Zoom chat for tonight. And so invite you to come on Zoom with us and come spend time with us. If you got friends that aren't normally on Zoom with us, send them a text message real quick and say, hey, join us and be a part of that. We'll do a little bit of talking, probably a game or two maybe, and then just some time to hang out, just time to see everybody. It won't be long as always, but it'll be hopefully really good, and hope you can be there. And that is Intersection Online this week. So I want to remind you to put God first in everything you do. Remember, the most important thing you can know is that God loves you. The most important thing you can do is to love him back. And so love him back well this week in the things you're doing. And so with that, y'all, we're done. Thanks to Chandler, had to go, but thanks to Chandler for joining us, and Keith and Whitney and Dalen, and for being a part of this. And it's good to see you guys as well this week. And thanks for taking time to join us with that. And that's it. We're done. So bye-bye, everybody. See you later. See you on Zoom.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.